And today in this series, we are discussing about a very important natural product, which is water. So 70% of the earth is filled with water, but we really value water, because if we value water, that means we are also valuing the future. So let's find out the views of our guest, Mr. Sitesh Srivastav, and let's welcome him. So welcome to the show, Sitesh. Kaise Mijaz, how are you today?
Hi, Kanchan. Wait for a second.
Okay, when I'm watching you drinking water, I also feel like drinking water, because I think this is the connection of water we have all the time.
Correct.
So
This
today,
is the
yeah.
this is the Amrit, and good morning to you. And this is the subject that I want to discuss, and this is what I want to drive the point, that the things that are free in this world are misused, and how can we understand the worth and the value. हिंदी में कहें तो कीमत और मूल्य पानी की. तो शुरुआत करते हैं.
Yeah, definitely. Pani and water, as you said, is very valuable, because you know that 80% of human body itself is made of water. And if we really take out the economics of water, so it is it's said that it is the water of the world is worth more than $60 billion, and so that is the water worth. And when we talk about water, we just don't give that weightage to that subject, to that product, which is so valuable for the life. So what do you understand about the value of water?
You must come to Bangalore in recent times, Kanchan, and see the housing societies do not have drinking water, and it is the water tankers who are running throughout the day. And for a size of 200 housing homes in a society, and the water bill can run up to almost 2 lakh rupees or 200,000 rupees a month, because there is no drinking water around us available in this city. It's very, very hard to find. But I think we always discuss and understand the water importance. We talk about it, but we don't really do something serious about it. So I was listening to some very interesting discussion on this water conservation, and it was said that if instead of water, if the clouds would have given us petroleum, would we have wasted even a single drop of it? And that was a very powerful statement for me, which led me to thinking about, yes. So I think the essentials of this life, water is one, but we always think as humans that essentials are limitless, and that is not the case. Kanchan, do you say?
Yes, definitely, because you know we ignore the value of water sometimes, and we waste water. Even the drinking water, we don't close the tap, the water keep running, and people are really fail sometimes to understand that water we require, the pure water which you are talking about, we don't only require for drinking, we require in industry, we require in agriculture, and it is so valuable. And when we talk about water conservation, people really talk about water conservation, but I really feel that they don't really believe in that sometimes. That is what is my feeling. So what is your experience in that?
Well, I see from a larger perspective, Kanchan, talking about India. One is the home consumption, a very emotional, sticky, and many times political matter. The other side is the agricultural water consumption, which is also very sticky and also a bigger political challenge. And we can see that during any election times. So as a human beings, we have realized that only when the drought hits us, we start realizing the importance of water. But if the drought is not there, or we don't feel the feeling of the drought, I think the whole challenge of water conservation is just thrown out of the window, and we don't realize that, like petroleum, I think the water should also be said to be a limited resource. And I think it is important that I want to talk about our couple of keywords because we have a very less time. So I think that we should, do something like water market. We must do something. We must create a market for the water. One another argument that I realize is that something like a futures contract in the stock market, we have something like a futures contract. So a farmer should say that I will go for this cash crop in the month of December, and I would need a huge quantity of water, and I am ready to buy it today. Today, the farmers don't buy water. They think it is unlimited. And when they do not have water, example, Rajasthan kind of places, arid places, they will go for long-term crops. The pulses and the grains and the cereals. But the moment there is availability of good amount of water, they will move towards a valuable crop like tomatoes, which gives more money. So there are challenges, and I want to focus on the home consumption and agricultural consumption, plus what we are trying to achieve through governments.
Yes, it's quite a valid point, but at the same time, I think the knowledge and the concern towards water is also very important. Like we are so concerned about our family members, even if we have a pet, we are so concerned about it. But when we really don't think about the water, it is so valuable, we just take it easily. So that concern has to be taught, or maybe government or any organization or communities should make people understand the actual value of water, and how it is important to conserve it, to do not waste it, to actually use it very in a planned way. So this is what is being required. That is what is, I think, more important. Let it be a farmer or maybe home consumption, this feeling of love actually towards water is very important.
Exactly. And there are many examples around the world, Kanchan, for water conservation. In a very recent time, there has been a very big case study from Australia, where between, I think, 2001 and 2009, there was a drought, which was caused by the river combination of Darling and Murray River. And because of that, a whole, a decade of Australian economy suffered. And and as we know, Australia is not very rich or very abundant in the water resources. So it actually impacted the whole country, the continent, and we have some very interesting lessons out of it. So water metering, one interesting thing happens that every household, up to the household level, there is a water metering in other parts of the world as well. In India, we have water metering only at the municipality level. Then there are guidelines on the government level. And I'm surprised to learn that as per Indian government guidelines, 70 liters of water in the urban areas is supposed to be a good capacity. But if you really start putting meters in homes, 70 liters looks like a luxury for 1.35 billion people. So why are we not doing this water metering in our homes? And how do the rainwater harvesting? It is just in, I know in Bangalore, many housing societies, they just do the lip service by having a rainwater harvesting system for having the permissions to go ahead. And recently we know what happened in Bangalore floods. Okay. And at the same time, in the North India, I'm hearing in some of the Nepal border areas are reeling under the drought. So I think water is something that we must understand. We must create the marketplace for it. But then the detractors will come and say, hey, no, water is a natural resource, you can't politicize it, it is given by the nature. But then nobody is saying that you can't have it unlimited in your homes. Only thing is being said to meter it, to consume it as much as you need it. Think of one farmer who has a water resource and the another farmer in another part of the country who does not have it, or less. So both farmers can actually exchange those contracts together, saying that you take the excess water from me, I'm giving it like it's like a marketplace, and I will need it in the month of March, 6 months down the line, then you give it to me. Or at the end of the year, it can be cashed out. So I think the consumption of water, again, I think from a technical point of view, I was also thinking about something called water wallet. We all can have our water wallets. And if we can do this, Kanchan, in the energy sector, solar panels, energy consumption, switch off the light, we give incentives to our family members and children to do that. We really don't do those things for water, isn't it?
Yes, very well. You have mentioned a few points, and you are also talking about the water meter. And if I'm not mistaken, companies, big companies like Reliance, they are working on this. And in a couple of cities, say for example, Hyderabad, there are apartments and there are some societies where they are opting for this, because if you really see in future, water is, I think, will be more valuable and costlier than even the petroleum which you are talking about. And yes, water wallet is a very good point which you have mentioned. And at the same time, I really feel that the domestic consumption, if we start the domestic consumption metering, that will actually eventually lead to industrial consumption and guidelines, because everything starts from the home. And when people are concerned about the water preservation, and this is starting from the home, so that will affect the overall psyche of the people. And then again, you actually mentioned about water harvesting. So all these things, I think, should be in the school curriculum, because people and the children should know what is the value of water, and at this same time they will become more responsible about this natural resource. And at the same time, they should also have the kind of knowledge of pure water, gray water, black water kind of thing, which how they can use. So this all knowledge will help in water consumption, and that is what I say. And metering, which you have mentioned, I think Indian government is also waking up towards this. Now, going forward, what is your a suggestion to people and to maybe policymakers about this water and how they can really take it seriously?
Kanchan, we all understand the value of water, but we don't understand the worth of it, or other way around. In Hindi we say कि हम मूल्य समझते हैं मगर कीमत नहीं समझते. So for home consumption, it is important in every home. As you said, parents, elders should basically show the path to the youngsters about water conservation as much as possible. Another thing is that we buy very expensive RO filters. but we don't really realize that how much water is being wasted in an RO filter. Similarly, dishwasher. So we buy with so much expensive dishwasher, but we don't want to pay for water. In Bangalore, there is a movement going on for Kaveri water all over the city, and it is becoming almost like a political issue about when the administrators talk about charging for it. Okay, so one another thing is that to understand that we are buying bottled water a lot, and that bottled water feels great, and it sometimes become a status symbol. Many times it is a need, and many times it becomes like a single-use plastic. Can we not bring that bottled water as a single-use plastic and try to avoid it? We must think it in that way, like a recent government directive. The another thing is in the agricultural sector. I think it is important for the farmers of today to be educated about the water use and how to generously use it, and not always use it for water-rich crops all the time. And interestingly, most of the water-rich crops are also sold very expensive in the market. So if everybody will start growing vegetables, who will grow cereals and the grains? Okay. And at my last argument, Milord, would be the song that I always respect and listen to by the great singer Mukesh and Lata ji is "Pani re pani tera rang kaisa, jisme mila do lage us jaisa." So if this natural resource, if we don't take care of it, the next revolutions are around the corner, and it is not petroleum, Kanchan. I believe it is water. We must see some images from Africa. We must see some images from where villagers have to go kilometers in India and other parts of the world. Africa comes very clear to my mind very soon to understand the gravity of this.
Yes, actually, you are very right, and I actually look forward from our viewers their comments, their thought process, and I would like them to really send us their viewpoint through comments, and let's find out how really they think about it. So, as usual, Sitesh, it was wonderful to talk to you, and you raised a very, very interesting topic which everybody should look forward, everybody should work towards this and show the concern in the water conservation. So once again, thanks.
So we had a quite interesting discussion with Mr. Sitesh Srivastav, and time has come that we should value the water conservation. And I look forward for your comments on this very important subject. We'll be meeting again in next episode. Till then, you take care and bye-bye.